Hi MMA fans and welcome to another MMA fighting video. Erin Blanchfield just shocked the world by beating the former champion and top contender Jessica Andrade, earning the biggest win of her career. The cold-blooded Erin absolutely demolished Molly McCann in her previous fight, and people were questioning whether she could fare the same against the UFC's top contenders. She proved to the world that she can compete with the best and even encouraged discussions about the possibility of beating the UFC flyweight queen, Valentina Shevchenko. Although it's too early to jump on Blanchfield's hype train, we can surely assume that she is the future of the UFC flyweight division. And considering that she's only 23 years old, she's only going to get better. Would she ever get to the level to compete and beat the flyweight queen Valentina Shevchenko? We can't know for sure, and it all depends on how much she'll improve in the future. The MMA community that watched the fight shared their thoughts on social media praising Blanchfield's victory. We'll look at their reactions, but before that, we'll briefly analyze the fight and why the MMA community reacted that way. A closer look. In her previous fight at UFC 281, Erin Blanchfield absolutely destroyed Molly McCann, who was coming out of two spectacular victories that granted her performance of the night bonuses. Although earning a victory against a formidable opponent like Molly is not a walk in the park, it was a matter of time before Blanchfield stepped up to the competition and tested her skills against the top contenders. When they scheduled her against the former champion and one of the best flyweights in the world, Jessica Andrade, many were skeptical and thought it was too early to throw this 23-year-old talent to the wolves. Jessica Andrade is a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, and she possesses unreal power for her size that knocks women out to the shadow realm. The brutal KO against Karolina Kowalkiewicz and the slam knockout Andrade performed against Rose Namajunas would give nightmares even to UFC's most hardcore fans. That being said, scheduling the 23-year-old Blanchfield against Andrade was a massive step up to competition, and she was determined to prove whether she could compete against the best. As the fight started, Andrade landed a huge straight right that got Blanchfield's attention, but instead of panicking or shooting for a takedown, she decided to stand and bang with a dangerous striker. Erin used her height and reach advantage to neutralize Andrade's power and started to find success with good combinations in the stand-up exchange. She rocked Jessica a few times on the feet, and judging by her facial expression, Andrade wasn't ready for this. Considering Blanchfield's grappling superiority, Jessica was probably prepared for that, not a stand-up war. However, the young prospect showed the world that she could not only submit you on the ground, but she also possesses solid striking. The other two things we learned from that fight are that Blanchfield can take a punch, and she prefers pressure wrestling that would wear the opponent before executing a takedown. Andrade hits like a truck. She landed powerful strikes to Blanchfield's head, and the young prospect didn't even flinch. Although the Brazilian fighter defended the early takedown attempts by Erin, she kept shooting for a takedown, not giving Andrade time to breathe. By the end of the first round, the Brazilian was visibly tired and surprised at how good Blanchfield was. As the second round continued, Blanchfield's consistency finally paid off when she got Andrade into a clinch position and finally executed a beautiful inside trip takedown. Erin's fluidity on the ground and the ability to advance positions are genuinely unique, so she immediately passed the guard and went into side control. While giving a fake sense of security to stand up to her feet, Blanchfield wrapped her arms around Andrade's neck and went for the choke even before setting her hooks in. She then adjusted herself better and squeezed the victory out of Andrade. This is precisely how Shevchenko went after Andrade in their fight, but Blanchfield did it even better than the champion. While Valentina struggled for some time and Jessica gave her some resistance, Erin managed to do that effortlessly, without much resistance whatsoever. This massive victory for the young fighter shocked the MMA community, and they could not stay indifferent on social networks. If you like the video so far, don't forget to hit that like button. The MMA community reacts. Blanchfield's victory didn't go unnoticed by the MMA community. Fighters and journalists stormed Twitter with their thoughts, expressing their impressions of the fight. Some of them were shocked and didn't expect that Erin could beat someone of the caliber of Jessica Andrade, while others were not so surprised and could now prove their point that Blanchfield is for real. Here's how the MMA community reacted to Erin's most significant victory in her career. Nico Price said, "Wow, congrats Erin, amazing performance on a former champ." Aljamain Sterling said Erin Blanchfield with a second RD submission. Bilal Muhammad said, "Wow, the girl isn't the future, she's the now." Angela Hill said, "Dang, I guess Blanchfield gets winner at UFC 285, right?" Billy Quarantillo said, "Yo, Erin Blanchfield is legit." And Sadiq Yusuf said, "What did I tell y'all?" Megan Anderson said Erin Blanchfield is the real deal. If it goes to the canvas, it's her world. Absolutely huge win for her tonight. And we have a new name in the mix at the top of the flyweight division. John Doe said she's the one to dethrone Shev. Zohaib MMA said Erin Blanchfield just went from an amazing prospect to a serious contender. That was highly impressive, putting the division on notice. Ian Farhan said, give her a title shot. Ali Florido said, congratulations, nice submission. I knew Erin was the real deal from back when we fought in Invicta FC. Had a feeling she'd pull it off in this fashion. Would love to see Erin get that title shot next. Tracy Cortez said, great performance. Vince Morales said, wow, Blanchfield is for real. Tanner Mertlich said, a killer, she's the real deal. And Antonio Esparza said, this is Valentina's worst matchup. Valentina will lose soon, and Erin is the one to beat her. Erin Blanchfield reacts to her victory and is eyeing a shot at the title. After dominating Jessica Andrade in her most significant UFC victory, Erin Blanchfield revealed that she has her eyes set on a title. Although Valentina Shevchenko is scheduled to fight Alexa Grasso in defending her title, Blanchfield believes that the flyweight queen would not have many problems defending her throne against the Mexican contender.
I would definitely prefer Shevchenko. I think she beats Grasso. I think Grasso is a very tough fighter, but I want to be that one to take the title from her.
When Paul Felder asked her about her prediction if a fight against Shevchenko capitalizes, she was confident in becoming champion. She replied, I'm going to win the title and be the UFC champion. Although a shot at the title is her priority, Erin revealed that she has no problem having another fight against a top contender before getting the title shot. She elaborated,
I knew beating someone like her, especially if I finished her, that I could deserve that title next. Yeah, I'm definitely okay with fighting again. I think the title, because the title fight's in 2 weeks, so I think it can line up perfectly. But if they want me to fight again, I'll gain more experience.
Can Erin Blanchfield beat Valentina Shevchenko and become the youngest female UFC champion? Beating Jessica Andrade in such a dominant fashion opened discussions about whether this young talent could defeat the flyweight queen, Valentina Shevchenko, and become the youngest female champion. Shevchenko is arguably the best female fighter in the world, and if it wasn't for the size factor, one could argue that she could have beaten Amanda Nunes as well. However, if there is someone who has a possible chance of beating her, that might be Erin Blanchfield. Valentina is unquestionably the best striker in the division, and trying to strike with her as Erin did with Andrade would be suicide. Although Blanchfield displayed a lot of courage and determination to trade strikes with Andrade, that would not be a good idea against the champ. Even though Erin displayed a solid level of striking, yet she would be too slow and inexperienced for the bullet, and Valentina would pick her apart with strikes. Shevchenko would throw lightning-fast kicks, slowing Blanchfield down, and if she tries to close the distance, the bullet has one of the best counter-striking techniques in the UFC, and she would definitely hurt the challenger with a punching combo. However, Erin Blanchfield has superior grappling and can submit anyone on the ground. Although Valentina is a good wrestler and she has shown that she can submit someone from the back, her jiu-jitsu is not even close to the level of Blanchfield's. The question is, can Erin take Valentina down, considering that the bullet possesses solid takedown defense? On top of that, Valentina is a good wrestler and she can also execute takedowns on her own. If Erin goes after her and has a few unsuccessful takedown attempts as she did against Andrade, the bullet would use each opportunity to strike Erin and slow her down, making her takedown attempts even harder. Each time Erin shoots for a takedown and fails, Valentina would retaliate with strikes that would make the American think twice before shooting for the takedown again. If Blanchfield wants to beat Shevchenko, she will need to play a perfect game and probably take Valentina down early in the first round. Because as the fight would go, the bullet would slow Erin down with strikes and middle kicks to the body. As for now, Erin's chances to beat the flyweight queen are slim, but she's only 23 years old and will only get better. If she works on her offensive wrestling and becomes as good of a wrestler as a submission specialist, then the bullet might be in real trouble. Although we've seen Shevchenko fighting against good grapplers, we've never seen her fighting against someone with Blanchfield's level of jiu-jitsu and how good her submission defense is. Regardless of whether this fight would ever capitalize, it's good to see a young rising prospect in the UFC flyweight female division that would threaten any top contender, including the champ. And what do you guys think? Do you believe Blanchfield has what it takes to become a champion? How do you think a fight between her and Valentina Shevchenko would go? Leave your thoughts in the comments, and if you'd like to watch more content like this, please make sure to like and subscribe.